Okay, I think my camera cut out on me right as I was starting to show you the demonstration on the little sketch that we did. Now, the Electroset Fine Liner is a dye-based ink that won't smear when you go over it with the Pro markers. So what I'm going to do is just basically show you what I just did on that cherry when my camera cut out. I'm going to use my Tria just because it's a little bit darker, and I'm going to go around the edges. I like to put my shadows in first, like I mentioned before. Then I'm going to use my Pro marker. So the same ink, no matter what marker you choose, so you can use them interchangeably. The Pro markers, the Trias, are a little bit more expensive because you get the addition of the extra tip, but the Pro markers are really nice because they have an airbrush system that's available. So if you ever want to try airbrushing with markers, it's quite inexpensive. I think they retail for about $35. The airbrush you can hook your markers to. So it's definitely a lot cheaper than the other marker airbrush systems out there. I'm using a blender. I'm simply just coloring over my red. Look how it lightens it right up. You can almost bring it back to the white of the paper. Now if you want to do a little blending for the leaves, you simply just want to choose a couple colors that are similar. Let's see, I have G356 and G178. I'm again going to start in with my shadows. I don't think you have to take a super long time at this. The most important thing is just to have fun and not worry about it. The more you work over the colors, the more they're going to blend. You can always go back in and add more color later. You can even go back in and lift up some of that color later, so you're certainly not committed when you first lay it down. I can go in my blender and lighten it up more if I want, but I think that's going to be just fine for this demonstration. You know, if you wanted a super fine marker, you could go ahead with the super fine tips on the Trias and do that. But I even think that's too fine for those stems. That gives you an idea of how easy it is to blend those markers. But it does take practice. That's the most important thing you can do as a stamp artist, is just to practice. Here is the image I stamped with a memento a few minutes ago. And I'm just going to go in with my shadows. I think I want something a little bit softer in color, so I'm going to use these Trias. I'm just using the outline of my image for a guide and adding some shadows in there. I won't have time to finish coloring all this in the span of a YouTube video, but you'll get the idea. And I think I will use, I think I'll use this. We'll see how this, see if I can get this to blend. There's quite a bit of contrast. I might have to add a third color in. Let's see, let's go to G136 again, see if we can get that to blend a little bit better. Sometimes when you have an area saturated, that's just all you need to make your colors really flow together. And that's where I do like to go in with a chisel tip. If I'm having a hard time pushing my colors together, I can go in with a chisel, and that really forces my colors to blend. I'm using Neenah Classic Crest Solar White. I find that to be a very good cardstock for blending. I also like Paper Tray Ink Stamper Select cardstock. Gina K cardstock is very nice too because your colors won't bleed through. You can see here on the back that it's saturated, it's bled through. The Gina K doesn't bleed through, so if you want to do a single layer card, that's your best bet. But there's so many options. You just have to try what you have first, and if you're not happy with what you have for cardstock, then you can go ahead and try something different. I think I want a reddish orange poppy, so I'm going to go with my Pro marker in orange and my Pro marker in red. As you can see, I really haven't used that many colors for all these samples I've been working on. That's a nice thing about having a limited palette, is that you can be very creative with your colors and you'll become a better artist. The more limits you have, the more creative you often become, because you have to really learn how to mix your colors. You really have to learn what looks nice together and figure out how you can make them with what you have. So, don't fret if you don't have hundreds of dollars to invest in markers. You could spend 20 bucks, get 10 Pro markers, and really go to town. Shop around online. You'll find some websites have them as low as $1.50 a marker. The Pro markers are $1.99. for the tree is, just look around before you buy, and you'll find some good deals out there. And the nice thing about the tree is you can refill them, you can change your nibs if they wear out. The Pro markers have that lovely airbrush system, and honestly, it takes a lot to wear a marker out, so don't worry if you can, you're going to get the Pro markers, you're afraid they're going to wear out. You're not going to wear them out anytime soon. We're talking about like heavy duty use. Now look at how pretty that petal is. Imagine having all of them painted. I call it painting because it really feels more like painting than coloring when you have the end result that's so flawless. But anyway, I urge you to give Pro markers a try. Sign up on my blog to win. You'll have your chance to win your choice of a set of their brand new blending sets. They're gorgeous. You're going to love it. I want to thank you so much for stopping by. And until next time, happy crafting!